On the show today, we'll talk a lot on the Breakfast Review. We'll talk about the Wesley Girls religious debate. We'll talk about the removal in court of the EC chair and her deputy's petition submitted to the Jubilee House. Will it suffice? Are we going to see another prima facie by the president forwarding it? And then, are we also, as a country, going to see things being increased, synonymous with Christmas and its festivities? How is the road usage going to be like? How prepared are you as a road user? The police administration has hinted of an operation Christmas. Are you prepared? If you don't have anything to do in town, please stay at home. You know that during Bonya, they say that we have a lot of ghosts in town. So please make sure that you're taking extra precaution. And the rains are still with us. Please take extra precaution as well. Let me motivate you for the morning.
Today's word, GHOne, G-E-R-L-Y, gingerly. It's an adverb. If you do something gingerly, you do it in a careful way because you're afraid of being hurt or making noise, etc. Let's exemplify it. The crew moved the items to the studio gingerly in order not to break them. Gingerly.
Well, let's bring you a video for this morning as we inch closer to Bonya. I mentioned to you that I was saying, actually, it's 29 days to Bonya. So, it's good morning. joined me. Good morning, Captain. How are you?
Good morning, Lily. I'm good. Yourself?
Wednesday. Yeah. The week is inching close.
The time that you have to meet the ladies. Meet the ladies.
I know, yes.
You have the time to meet the ladies. Yeah.
I love Wednesdays, you know.
Yes. It's the midweek.
Yes, today is midweek. Yeah. And today. So when it's midweek, you know that's very soon. The weekend will be here.
There's Thursday and then there's Friday.
And there's Friday, yeah. And Friday, and two will be our phone.
Yeah.
But you two phones now went here. With me up here more
Monday waiting.
Anyway, let's look at the things happening in courts.
Yes.
This week is ADR week.
Yes, ADR week. And when you come to the judiciary, it is dubbed court-connected ADR. So in the course of the year, in the course of the legal year, we have 3 terms, sometime in March, July, and in November. So November is the third term of the ADR week. And earlier on Monday, we did indicate that the Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafubodi, will be performing the ceremony to open the ADR week. That has been done, and we're bringing you excess of that particular ceremony. And guess where it took place? It took place in Ho, the Volta regional capital, Ho. That is where the ADR week took place. In fact, what normally will happen is that depending on where the ADR week ends, the region that the ceremony will take place. Last year, in fact, the second term, it took place in the Eastern region, and Kufuridia. Yeah. That's the Eastern regional capital. So the Chief Justice and the team, some members of the Supreme Court bench, were in Ho to perform. So I can see Justice Richard Frimpong, J. Frimpong there. Justice Henry Anthony Kofi was also there, both of them justices of the Supreme Court. The president of the Judicial Service Staff Association, Mr. Samuel Afutiotu, was also there, and of course joined some judges within the region to perform this very function. But the CJ has been saying the significance of the ADR week. Let's hear from the Chief Justice.
One of the Adenta High Courts had 846 cases. It has even overtaken the courts that they were set up to help. We want to encourage mediation, and that is what we have been doing for the past 20 years. There's an alternative to the full-blown trial in the court. The alternative is plea bargaining. The alternative is mediation. Let us all imbibe the ADR. And the lawyers, please, ADR will not take your money away.
Okay.
Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni, and he was even giving an example of the Adenta court where the court was expanded, and the expansion was to reduce the backlog of cases. Eventually.
Even with that.
So you go to the court, and that is the reason sometimes you see a lot of cases being adjourned, because from 9 to 4, can you imagine about 40 cases before a judge? Obviously,
that's huge numbers for any judge.
Absolutely, and most of these cases are amenable to by ADR. When you use ADR as a tool, you can easily resolve them. But of course, we are the typical Ghanaian will tell you what I want to show you.
I'll show you where power lies.
I'll take you to court. The person doesn't mind whether there is merit or not, and the court can only determine the merit at the end of the case. By which time, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. ADR offers you that opportunity to that flexibility, reduce time, mend relationship. Is very cheap, and you move and. So that is why it's been encouraged and all of that. But let's hear from the supervising judge in charge of ADR, Justice Angela Humia.
Over the years, let me be specific, the past 20 years, the CCADR has settled over 37,000 cases.
So that's the supervising judge, very brief. Justice Angelina Humia. So he's a justice of the Court of Appeal. She has been supervising issues of ADR within the judiciary, that court-connected ADR. But when they went to the Volta region, the landlord, the regional minister, James GHOne, also spoke.
Innovation offers us a tool to expand access, increase efficiency, and remove the traditional barriers that have hindered many from seeking timely justice.
Yes, so
that's the landlord,
yes, the regional minister, also having a say in relation to this whole issue about ADR. So anybody who has an issue and you think that this matter is a family issue, the best place for you to be is to have this resolved. And the judges have been urged, the lawyers, and sometimes the lawyers who are also involved, you can look at the issue and then encourage your client that this one can be resolved through ADR, and the parties work happily once you adopt that. So it is a week from Monday to end of Friday. At the end of the week, ADR week, we bring you statistics about how many cases have been resolved and how many cases in fact are pending within ADR and the way forward in relation to the ADR issues.
Absolutely. Let's look at one of the issues that has dominated our space. That's the religious debate with regards to Wesley girls.
Yesterday, yes, at the Supreme Court, it was quite interesting, and you see the numbers. A lot of law students, because it's a constitutional matter, and then people will want to know how the Supreme Court will resolve this matter. A 7-member panel of the Supreme Court, presided over by Justice Gabriel Puaman. We have Justice Yauda Kwasari on the panel, Justice Richard Eje Frimpong, Justice Senyor Jamefe, Justice Philip Bright Mensah, Justice Janapari Bartels Kujo, and Justice Kwekutewia Akabuafu. These are the judges who sat on the matter yesterday. And when the case was called, the business of the day was that the Attorney General has filed a new statement of case for the defendant, and they want it substituted. And once you have something before the court and have a new one in place, you have to seek leave of the court, the permission of the court to be able to have it filed. Now, the plaintiff did not oppose to that, led by Abdulaziz Gonda. The lawyer did not oppose to that. So straight away, the court ordered or directed the Attorney General to file that particular process within 7 days. And when it is served, the plaintiff and the lawyers will also have the opportunity to reply if they so wish. So the court looked at it and said, look, if you look at the issue that the Attorney General has been filed, or the proposed statement of case for the defendant, there's two defendants. The AG is representing two defendants, the AG itself and the Ghana Education Service. As for Wesley girls, it's more like a private entity, so they have their own lawyers. But unfortunately, nobody was represented. Okay. No rep from Wesley girls, no lawyer from Wesley girls. So the court said, look, if you look at the allegations that have been made, let's roll the visuals. If you look at the allegations that have been made in relation to the matter before the court, the issue that the court is supposed to resolve, those allegations of facts, the courts will want to hear from the Wesley Girls School before, if anything, can be done. So 14 days, the Supreme Court is saying that the school or the governors, the Board of Governors of Wesley Girls should respond if they so wish. If they don't respond, it will, in the minds of the court, silence means consent. So it will be presumed that whatever allegations were raised, that is the fact on record. And consequently, the case was adjourned indefinitely. But there was another leg of the case that has to do with Democracy Hub. They want to join this action as a friend to the court. Amicus curiae. Amicus curiae. And the court allowed them. The defendant and the plaintiff did not oppose to they joining. But there was a clause. There's a caveat to what the court said after the court is saying that you have to join. The court is saying that at this particular point in time, Democracy Hub, you have no business in what the parties are doing. Whatever their memorandum of issues, they have to file issues that they feel that these are the issues of contention that the Supreme Court will have to resolve. The two parties will have to file that memorandum of issues. I've seen situations where the parties disagree, so they sometimes will file their issues separately. Then the Supreme Court will now look at the issues that are relevant to the matter at court, before the court, and then resolves it. The court is saying that, wait, let them file the memorandum of issues before the court, and the court will have to deal with it, file their statement of cases in relation to the argument and all of that. Then at the end, Democracy Hub, you can then come in and assist with the facts that they want the court to have in relation to this in resolving the matter. So on the base, in this manner, the case was adjourned indefinitely, or in a legal term, sine die. So that is what happened in relation to the Shafiq Osman's case against the Wesley Girls Senior High School, where the allegations are that the Muslim sisters in the school are not being allowed to perform their religious rites. That it's against tenets or provisions within the 1992 Constitution, where the Supreme Court seized with the original jurisdiction to interpret.
Okay. There was another case, the National Service Ghost Name Scandal.
Gifty Owari. So yesterday she made her second appearance at the court, but it's not the second time that she has been at the court. She's been at the court, I can count this, probably about 5 times.
Okay.
3 occasions trying to execute her bail condition, but the 2 occasions are officially dates that the court has given her to come. The first one was the day she was arraigned, and yesterday she made an appearance in relation to the court asking that the case be recalled for case management conference, where they are supposed to sort out all processes, all modalities, documentations, witness statement, and all of that. Yesterday I explained that extensively. Yesterday she appeared for the first time on bail together with her lawyers, the state represented by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Mrs. GHOne Obobisa, and a team of state attorneys. And the indication was that yesterday, case management conference did not happen before Justice Audrey Kokuvite. The AG makes the point that, yes, they have almost filed their whole disclosure processes. However, there was an issue with having few of their witnesses signing their portion of the witness statement for it to be complete. So they will seeking for the week's adjournment to be able to complete that process. The court agreed with them. And then before adjourning, the court makes an order on Gifty Owari to file the list of witnesses she may call in the course of the trial, should there need be that she will open her defense. You know, when prosecution is done, testify or calling their witnesses, the court will then have to decide whether there's a prima facie evidence. If that threshold is met, then Gifty of Owari would be called upon to open her defense, where she would need her witnesses. But if the court said no prima facie, the threshold has not been met for the accused to open her defense in relation to the charges, then she will be acquitted and discharged. So this case has been adjourned to December 17 for case management conference. But she has to file the list of all witnesses she may court within or by November 27. So that is how this case transpired in court before Justice Audrey Kokuvite.
Okay. Let's look at a number of the cases that are coming up today.
U.S. deportees. U.S. deportees.
Back to the matter.
Yes. So the earlier visuals that we played, we saw Deputy Attorney General, we saw Oliver, and we saw Abdulaziz Gomda, the parties in the Shafiq Wesley Girls case. This is the Democracy Hub case, and the same parties. So you could see, the videos that you are seeing are not the same. This one was in relation to the Democracy Hub U.S. deportees case. They were taking different dates, a different court date, but the same Supreme Court. And so the Supreme Court at last sitting indicated that the parties should file their written submissions within 7 days to address on the issue of discovery, on the allegations of the MOU that Ghana has signed with the U.S. Earlier, the Attorney General has voluntarily offered to make that particular document available to the court, available to the Supreme Court, for the Supreme Court to have a view of what has or what is happening, for the court to know or to assess it whether it is in breach of the Constitution or it is not. And so today, the parties are meeting at the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will make a determination as to whether, indeed, the discovery is to find out whether, indeed, there's such a document available. And already the AG has made it available. And so we will see how the Supreme Court will deal with the issue in relation to that. Then after, this make the point that they will have to deal with, there's an interlocutory injunction to stop government from implementing the process, and also another request that government should release the document. The Supreme Court would then have a say in relation to that. So a lot of things, a lot of dynamics will transpire or come up within this very case when the Supreme Court sits at 9:30 a.m. this morning in relation to this matter.
Number one is back in court.
Number one is back in court. Men's good customers. Yes, so there's an issue as we speak. The trial is on hold. So this is the moment, one of the days at the High Court, the law court complex, when number one was done sitting, or the case was adjourned, and he was leaving the premises of the High Court or the law court complex. So there's a case before the Supreme Court which will be decided on the 10th of December in relation to his seeking the stay of proceedings. Remember, he went to the High Court. The High Court said, I will not stay. He went to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal said, I will not stay. And he said, if the Court of Appeal, 3 judges, you say you will not stay, I'm going to the Supreme Court, 5 judges. 10th, he will have a decision. But then, once the 2 cases are pending concurrently, so Supreme Court, High Court, so effectively when you come to the High Court, the High Court is also waiting for what the Supreme Court will say. But today, he's back at the High Court before Justice Ernest Owusu-Dapaah, Justice of the Court of Appeal, sitting as additional High Court judge, and we'll know what will happen in relation to that. But one thing is certain, you see the men's good customer, the aggrieved customers also in court to follow or to monitor what is up. So these are some of the things that we should keep an eye on by way of what is coming up in court.
All right. Thank you very much, Captain. That should do for court today. I take a quick break, and when I come back, we'll do an extensive conversation on the religious debate in schools. Stay with me. GHOne TV. Time for Inside Out. Earlier on Court Today, we started talking about a matter that I told you has generated a lot of concerns, a lot of emotions, a lot of religious diversions, and a lot of religious sentiments in this country. That's the practicing of faith, certain aspects of faith in senior high schools, particularly the Wesley Girls Senior High School. There's a position of the state, there's a position of Wesley Girls. Interestingly, the state, when I say the state, I mean the Attorney General's office, because he represents the state. He's in agreement with the stance of Wesley Girls. The Education Minister, however, is on the other spectrum. He thinks that everybody must be allowed. He says nobody must be denied their rights to religious affairs. Let's hear the Education Minister.
Work. Mr. Speaker, let me also use this opportunity in debating the budget, since I speak as the present Minister for Education, that there is some ongoing debate on restrictions on Muslim students in Wesley Girls, which conflicts with international human rights standard and even standard expected of us in Ghana's Constitution under Article 33(5) and 26(1) of the Constitution. And then to assure our colleagues that we have a duty to uphold the rights of every Ghanaian child and to uphold the rights of every Ghanaian citizen. No right is divisible, and that we will not countenance any action by any person to deny any Ghanaian girl the opportunity to profess or practice any religion. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude.
No one should be denied their right to practice any faith or any religion. That's a very profound statement by the Education Minister. It's interesting when he's a Muslim and the religion and the contention is Islam. And I have a Muslim in studio. Ibrahim Al-Hassan is my producer and the head of the political desk here at the IB Network. He's also a parliamentary affairs correspondent. So yesterday he was in Parliament.
Yes,
IB.
He played out in Parliament. Yeah.
I am wondering how sentiments in Parliament has been with regards to this particular issue. I know there are a lot of Muslims in there. Then there's a Northern Caucus.
Yeah.
What are their positions?
Well,
is there a sort of agreement? Are there divisions?
Yes.
Are we going the Christian line, the Muslim line?
Interestingly, this is a debate that has not taken just direct religious line. I've seen many Christian MPs who say this is needless, this is petty, and we ought not to be here at all. You see, many people are failing to understand what we're dealing with, the conversation. There's a reason why it's not about Osu Presec or Legon Presec or Esanse Bontefo Senior High School. There's a reason why it is Wegehe. That's because there are a number of things done there, a number of decisions taken, a number of directives, right, that went way above the ordinary. So first, a request is made for the Muslim girls to be given the special dispensation that you talked about yesterday, for them to fast, i.e. their food is reserved for them at dawn. That was flatly rejected, right? Then there is a request that no problem, we can find our own food and then observe the fasting. The school authorities say no. They didn't end there. They decided to deploy snitches on the Muslims. So monitor them. If you see them doing that, report them, and sanctions will be meted out. Come on, that's extreme. When we talk about religious extremism, that's the definition. So that's what we're dealing with. Otherwise, see, there is no school that Muslims or Incanca members or whoever are given unfettered access to practice their religion. So if you believe that chanting is what your religion dictates, then you are allowed to be chanting and disturbing others. No. Your practice will not be
there are aspects of your religion that you're allowed to practice.
That is it.
When I was in secondary school, I remember there was a colleague of mine who said, "Memenkwa sorry."
Exactly.
Even with that, on Sunday, it is compulsory for everybody to be
Whether
there.
you were Muslim
so you'd
or
find
not.
her seated at the back.
But you have showed up.
But because it is compulsory.
Simple.
And so when others are practicing after, we had various, unions.
Yes.
Religious unions.
Yeah, of course.
But she didn't belong to any of them.
Yeah.
She said she doesn't practice any faith, no church, no Islam, nothing.
Yeah.
So when it's compulsory Sunday, she'd come to the hall, she'd wear her white, she'd go and sit at the extreme back.
We had scripture unions. She obviously will not belong to those scripture unions and what have you. It's beautiful. The point we are making is that, see, we are at a point where we are disagreeing virtually over nothing. Muslims show up for worship. I did. I was part of my choir. I went to a presbytery school. I went to presbytery church to sing. It has broadened my horizon. I understand Christianity much better.
Good.
Right. It didn't convert me from Islam to Christianity. See, nobody is oblivious of why mission schools are set up. In the olden days, mission schools are conduits for winning souls. No two ways about that. Yes, they are conduits for moral upbringing, right? Shaping up the character of people, and also ensuring that you teach them the ways of the Lord. We understand that. But here we have a marriage between the church and the state. And so it's not wholly mission school. It is mission and then also government. So the teachers are posted there by the state, paid by the state. The school infrastructure is provided by the state, right? And so therefore, yes, practice your religion, practice your teaching. But when other people come with their faith, allow them breathing space. I'm not sure that should be difficult. If Wege Hill was a convent, and we all know what a convent is. A convent is where the Catholics send their people to be trained to be Roman fathers and Roman sisters nuns, and what have you, nuns and what have you. I'm not sure any Muslim will go to a convent and say, give me my Buddha and give me my mat.
Because
I want to perform ablution.
Tailored.
Exactly. Unfortunately, if you read the statement from the Catholic bishops, it looks like that is the point that they are making.
So the Catholic bishops and the Christian Council have issued a joint statement. Let's put that on your screen. I will not read it. It's quite a lengthy one, but I have put some bullet points here that I will espouse for the viewers. Now, the statement, excerpt of it, says, no student is compelled to attend a Christian mission school. Parents choose our institutions freely, often because of their proven track record in academic excellence, discipline, and moral formation. There are interesting points there. Because attendance is voluntary, it is unreasonable for anyone to demand that we change our core character to accommodate their religious preferences. In this instance, I don't want to sound like I'm taking a stance, but obviously I have a voice. No one is saying dilute your core mandate. What they are only asking for is, per the 1992 Constitution, I have rights. So allow me those rights to be able to exercise my religious freedom. Not in its entirety, aspects of it. Simple. I'm not asking that when class is in session, I leave my class and go and perform ablution and go pray. The Quran allows, or mandates, not just allows, mandates Muslims to pray 5 times a day. However, when class is in session, I'm not sure any Muslim will come to a teacher and say, it's time to pray, and so allow me go pray. No, I do not think that that is what they're asking for.
Or allow an azan to be called.
You know, when class is in session.
Build us a plus mosque with a minaret. Nobody is asking for that, right? By this logic, and just to support what you're saying, by this logic, then if you are not a Methodist and you were a teacher, you were a teacher, you should also not be posted to the school.
Exactly.
By this extension. Because if you are not of the Methodist denomination and you are a teacher, because of this argument that it's not compulsory for you to go to the school if you are a Muslim, it means that first of all,
if you are not a Methodist, do not.
Do not. Do not.
If you're a Catholic, stay within the Catholic mission schools. Now, this is where it gets interesting. It says, Ghana offers many alternatives, fully public schools, Islamic schools, and private institutions. I wish they had not brought these nuances in there, but however, ensuring that the rights of non-Christian students are respected without requiring us to dilute our identity.
You see.
That's an extreme one.
Yeah.
I do not think that Muslim students in Wesley Girls are asking the school to dilute its Wesleyan tradition.
No.
That's not what is asked. Well, that's not what these students are asking for. No. There are pillars of Islam, and fasting, Ramadan is one of them. And so allow me. It will not distort the academic calendar or alter any school, whatever. All we are asking for is, okay, if the school cannot provide us meals for pre-fasting period, we will be able to just allow us. We know that at a certain time, I'm supposed to be in bed. At a certain time, I'm not supposed to be seen on corridors. At a certain time, I'm not allowed into the trunk room or the chop-box room. However, during these 30-day period, allow me to go into my trunk or allow me to go to a trunk room. I'm sure even in these schools, there are Muslim prefects.
Exactly.
These Muslim prefects can supervise the students to go into their trunk rooms, prepare their meals, take them, go back and observe the academic calendar.
Simple.
Simplicity. Sometimes I wonder how we think as a society. Not to sound offensive, but with the greatest of respect.
This needless.
This is tolerance, and we pride ourselves with being warm, with being very tolerant, but we cannot accommodate. I mean, Ghana has, I know there are other religious sects, but primarily Ghana has become a Christian Islam nation.
Simple. Yeah. And we've coexisted over the years. And it's beautiful. See, I had my colleagues been my alarm for prayers. So we are in school, and then they hear an azan, they say, I be microphone freo. It's beautiful, right? So your Christian friends are reminding you that it's time for prayers. That's how we coexisted. Now,
even at work, not to cut you.
Of course.
During Ramadan, we make the rosters flexible.
Oh, yes, for the Muslims. That's how it ought to be. See, and they talk about academic performance. Please. You know, Presec, they have a mosque there. How many times haven't they won the National Science and Maths quiz? Right? Then Fancy Pim, that just won the latest edition. Go and find out whether they allow Muslims to practice their religion or not. So this argument they made the last time, and I'm talking about the Methodist Church, made the same argument that the Catholics. And my disappointment is in the Catholic bishops. Because in the Catholic schools, they are more embracing than you can imagine.
More tolerant, more accommodating. Now this is where it gets interesting. It says, we also recognize the practical challenges that accommodating multiple religions would create. Pardon?
So people will come and say, we want to set up a shrine. I'm sure that's where we are headed. Yes.
And it goes on to say, adjusting timetables.
Oh, really?
Allocating prayer rooms.
Oh, no.
Revising uniforms. Come on.
How?
Or managing perceptions of inequality. How?
These are to the extreme.
And it says would impose significant administrative burdens. I wonder how maybe we need to do a survey. Maybe we need data to back this. You know, to ask. Let's conduct a research. Let's conduct a research.
To the school, if all these provisions that are made for in other schools, it's related to the fact that sometimes the matrons are even happy to reserve their food for the Muslims. And at no point in time can you tell me that there are more than even 50 Muslim girls at Wiggy. The number cannot even get to 50 at a point in time. I tell you this.
Now they talk about freedom, infringing on their religious freedom. They say expecting us to suppress the Christian identity of our schools to accommodate every religious group would infringe upon this freedom.
You see.
With the greatest of respect, how is this infringing upon your freedom?
Yeah.
Someone will say, I am being biased because I have an Islamic background. That is your opinion. However, I have had a father who is a Muslim. I have a mother who is a Christian. So I belong to both faiths. And so I have a better appreciation of tolerance.
You are the embodiment of tolerance. Yes.
I was born in the Zango. I grew up in the Zango. I don't live in the Zango anymore.
Yeah.
But, however, I respect it.
That's it. It's simple.
I go to church now. However, I respect Islam.
I get it. See.
How is it infringing upon their freedom? The freedom of the Christian faith.
This paranoia. See, somebody's been paranoid. And see, when you read the entire statement, it comes to the conclusion that they are coming for us. Let's protect ourselves. Okay. See, and I said this on radio. If I had a daughter, obviously I would not send my daughter to Wegehe. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that the system should deny other parents who want to send their daughters to Wegehe that opportunity. Because we are in a system governed by the Constitution, which talks about the right to education. And it doesn't limit you to the fact that because you're a Muslim, you can go to this school, you cannot go to that school. The very day we get there will be the day that this country dies.
Imagine the Muslim sect saying that, okay, let's come together and build senior high schools across the country.
Yes. And so Muslims should go to Muslim schools, Christians should go to Christian schools. Or even when it comes to the Christian denomination, right? The Catholics should go to their Catholic schools, the Methodists should go to the Methodist schools. How are we going to build cohesion?
You know, the final part of their statement I find quite problematic. I don't know for others. But it says, ultimately, defending this heritage is not an act of exclusion. It is a vital affirmation of religious freedom, institutional autonomy, and the enduring pursuit of educational excellence. Now, it brings us to the conversation on decategorizing.
Exactly. Yes.
Maybe it's high time we had that conversation.
Or we lifted all other categories to become category A. And that we can do.
Maybe it's high time we have that conversation because they feel that, okay, I'm a category A school. It is my way or the highway.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time we make Wesley Girls a preserve of the Methodist Church.
No,
where only Methodist students are allowed to attend.
That's what they want.
Maybe that's what they want. Even in the Methodist Church, I know they do evangelism. Yeah. So are they telling us that when they do evangelism, they only visit homes that are perceived to be Methodist church members or people who have a certain liking?
Yeah. See, and Billy, finally on this, see, we've been around for a while. We are not oblivious of the fact that if the mission schools and the missions, the churches themselves, can use the schools to win souls, they will, right? We don't lose sight of the fact that if the idea might be that if I stop you from practicing your religion for 3 years, for the 3 years that you are in the school, by the time we are done with you, you might become a Methodist. You might convert to become a Christian. We've not lost sight of that fact. But you see,
interestingly, I attended a Methodist school.
Yes.
And I mean, I was baptized in a Methodist church. Yeah. My family, they are Methodists, right? Yeah. When I left secondary school, I didn't want to go back to the Methodist church. No offense.
Yeah, no offense.
I didn't want to go to the Methodist. I wanted to go to the charismatic church.
Exactly. So they should do much
because
more.
Because when you go, you hear the charismatic, the Pensa people.
Oh yeah, boom, boom, cha, boom, cha,
it was exciting. I was like, oh.
The Pentecost changed over time.
It helped build my knowledge. On the flip side, it helped build my knowledge of the Methodist hymns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it helped me know a lot of Methodist hymns.
They are still very slow, right? Methodist hymns.
Well, they're very nice ones. But a lot of my favorite songs are Methodist hymns.
No, of course. They have beautiful hymns.
Very beautiful hymns. However, I got to appreciate better every religion.
Exactly.
You know, and every, religious practice. Yeah. I got to appreciate why people do certain things they do. Exactly. And so now when somebody acts in a certain way, I'm able to better appreciate it and say, okay, I know where you're coming from.
That's true. So they should do more of evangelism in winning souls. Now that the state has decided to marry the mission by way of these development of the schools and the running of the schools, right? I think that old idea of using the schools to convert people can give way. Do many of the positive things, right? Do more evangelism and change with the times like the Pentecost church has done. Because I've heard many people complain that they are losing souls to one church or the other. You look within and look at how you've been practicing. Change with the time so the youth can equally be attracted to you. Trust me, it doesn't matter how long you stop me from practicing my religion. if I know that you are doing that under compulsion, when I leave, I go back to my religion. In fact, I might dislike you more because you are intolerant.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Exactly. And that is eventually where we'll head to as a country.
Exactly.
Quite unfortunate. I mean, that statement, maybe they should come again. Quite unfortunate. I thought that Christians were very tolerant. Now, I don't want to go into that conversation.
Yeah, there's a video, the Supreme Court,
there's a video on TikTok where, not to belittle any religion, where a lady pretended that she's a lactating mother, her child has run out of formula, and so she needed formula. And she called churches, and they told her she's not a member of their churches. However, she called the mosque, and they were ready to find wherever she is and bring them to her instead of, because if she says she doesn't have money, maybe she doesn't have money for transport. You know, this is not to say anything.
No,
but
I get that. It just means that we can all coexist. See, we all have our dictates, we all have our belief systems and how we profess or practice it. Right? Allowing you to practice yours within my space doesn't limit my own. In fact, they talk about suppression. So you don't want the Methodist faith to be suppressed, but we should allow you to suppress the faith of others when they are in your space. You see.
Where lies religious tolerance? That is our being, religious tolerance. We live together. We live in harmony. Anyway, thank you very much, Ibrahim. That's Ibrahim Alassan, my producer. That should do for Inside Out. When I come back, we'll bring you the breakfast review.
work. Mr. Speaker, let me also use this opportunity in debating the budget, since I speak as the present Minister for Education, that there is some ongoing debate on restrictions on Muslim students in Wesley Girls, which conflicts with international human rights standards and even standard expected of us in Ghana's Constitution under Article 33(5) and 26(1) of the Constitution. And then to assure our colleagues that we have a duty to uphold the rights of every Ghanaian child and to uphold the rights of every Ghanaian citizen. No right is divisible, and that we will not countenance any action by any person to deny any Ghanaian girl the opportunity to profess or practice any religion. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude.
We have a government. And the government must be clear on some of this. What is the cabinet? What is the position of cabinet on this? In April this year, the Minister for Education was clear on this. He addressed the public on this issue, where he said that the students in schools, in all schools, should be allowed to practice the faith that they believe in. They should be allowed to manifest it just as enshrined in Article 21 of the 1992 Constitution. He is a member of cabinet. Now today we have a position taken by another member of cabinet, which goes contrary to what the Minister for Education. So we are not happy.
If I'm a Christian and I want my child to go to a Muslim school, I shouldn't expect the school to build a church for my child. Likewise, if I'm a Muslim and I want my child to go to a Christian school, I should not expect the school to build a mosque for my child. However, I expect the school to allow my child to practice their faith.
If Wesley Girls thought that if they allow that freedom to go on the way the students wanted it, it's the fasting time. I think that issue had to do with
especially when they have to eat before the commencement
you get
of
it.
the
What
fast.
it means is that the pantry people must there can be arrangement, but if you want to impose it, it becomes problematic. That is by this legal trajectory. And so if they go and fortunately it's like the Attorney General is supporting the position of the school. Otherwise, if we go and then they say, oh, because of Article 21, freedom of the individual, can have their way, then what happens to the institution? Then
we've made some allegations in our statement of case, and until those allegations are disputed, it be deemed as being admitted. So we were only trying to help the court in adducing further evidence to establish the allegations against young students who we believe have the right to practice and manifest their religion. So if the court thinks that it is not necessary for now, and we should wait to hear from the first defendant, it's in order. So depending on what is contained in their response, then we proceed.
You're welcome back to the show. This is still GHToday here on GHOne TV. Time for the breakfast review, and this morning I've been joined by Joyce Owusu-Abefi Esquire. She is a member of the NPP Legal Directorate and a member of the communications team as well. We're expecting Hajia Sadatu Alassana. She is the head of communications for the Ghana Railway Authority. She's also a member of the NDC communications team. Good morning, Joyce. How are you?
Good morning, Lily. I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm awesome. It's good to have you here.
Good to see you too, Lily.
Interesting when the subjects of girls and their faith is in contention today. It's unfortunate that as a country we have to discuss it, but here we are anyways in court. The Wesley Girls religious debate. You are a lawyer, and I want to assume you're Christian too. Are you?
Definitely, Lily.
Okay. Your thoughts?
Okay, I'll say a very good morning to your viewers. And then I'll just move on to the subject for discussion for today. I think it is quite unfortunate, and it is a sheer evidence of religious suppression This is Ghana, a democratic country. And our democracy and our constitution 1992 tolerates all lawful religions. And so therefore, as an institution, you don't have the right to discriminate. Let me read Article 12.2 of the 1992 Constitution. Every person in Ghana, whatever his race, place of origin, political opinion, color, religion, creed, or gender, shall be entitled to the fundamental human rights and freedom of the individual contained in this chapter, but not subject to respect for the rights and freedom of others and for the public interest. So the protection of everybody's fundamental human rights is enshrined in the 1992 Constitution, and it is an unfettered right. So as a school or as an institution, if you decide to discriminate, which is also against the law, that is Article 17 of the same Constitution, it speaks against discrimination. I think it is despicable. We all attended SHS. In my school, regardless of your religion, you will still go for church service, as in the school's church service. So I don't think the Muslims in Wesley Girls want any special treatment aside being allowed to at least observe their religious practices. I think the school should be guided by this case, when was that? The Tyrone Magai
case.
Yes.
The Tyrone Magai.
Yes. The High Court ruled in favor of Tyrone. Yes. Why? Because it is a fundamental base, a fundamental human right that every human being is entitled to. Let me also read Article 21. Article 21 of the 1992 Constitution. Article 21 also...
You want me to help you read?
You can help me, Lily.
Okay.
You can help me.
It says, all persons shall have the right to freedom of speech and expression, which shall include freedom of the press and other media. B, freedom of thought, conscience, and belief, which shall include academic freedom.
I think that's all right.
Okay.
So what I want to say is captured in 21(1)(b). Freedom of belief. They are Muslims, and that is their belief. And the Ramadan prayers is an essential aspect of their religious practices. And I feel that regardless of the school's rules or policies, such essential fundamental religious practices should be tolerated. This is Ghana, a democratic country. We all talk about love, we all talk about tolerance. Come to think of it, Lily, how many Islamic schools do we have as a country? How many Hindu schools do we have? How many Ekanka SHS schools do we have? How many idol worship schools do we have? We don't have all of that. So it is incumbent on us as a nation to be tolerant. And as institutions, as in, I'm talking about this SHS, they should be tolerant. I'm not overriding the fact that the Christian religion has contributed significantly to Ghana's system of education. They started, they funded, they were doing it before the government even came in. We understand it. But for the sake of the number of Christian schools and for the sake of the shortage of the other religious schools, I feel that they should be tolerant. They've been tolerant all this while. And I see it even as a form of evangelism. The student is a Muslim, an admitted Muslim. He or she practices the religion. But the school also has church service, mostly in the evening. That was in the school that I attended. We go for church service in the evening. So, and it is compulsory for every student to attend this church service. So they are continually hearing of the word of God, the hymns and whatever. Who might even go a long way. They might not convert there and then, but going forward in the future, they may be converted. even to the Christian religion. Everything light attracts. So I feel that they've been tolerant, and they should continue to be tolerant, because we are in a democratic country, and any other thing, as in any policy or law which stands to hinder the observance of any person's fundamental human rights, should not be tolerated. Because if this thing is allowed to pass, as in the Wesley girls, they are allowed to have their way, it will go a long way to set very bad precedents for the country. You know that the other Catholic institutions, as in the Pojos, they might emulate same. And then it will be like, oh, Muslims are not tolerated. So then where should they go? Someone is an Ekanka, the person is there. Where should they also go? You know, we should be tolerant. And it even fosters peace and unity. We all live together. A Muslim will be your dorm mate. You get to understand each and every one. And then, you know, it fosters love. So I feel that I'm not disputing the fact that the churches have done well. But I am also saying that since the Muslim religion has not yet been declared as unlawful religion, then every Muslim student has a right that is protected under the 1992 Constitution. So now, it should be observed as such.
This morning, I don't know if you were watching, but I read portions of a statement issued by the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference in collaboration with the Christian Council. You are a lawyer, so I'd want you to. I am asking this on the basis of our very first article in the 1992 Constitution. A number of things they say. They say that. Well, let me go to one of the few things I read. It says, no student is compelled to attend a Christian mission school. Parents choose our institutions freely, often because of their proven track record in academic excellence, discipline, and moral formation. They go on to say, because attendance is voluntary, it is unreasonable for anyone to demand that we change our core character to accommodate their religious preferences. Now, let me go on. It says, Ghana offers many alternatives, fully public schools, Islamic schools, and private institutions, ensuring that the rights of non-Christian students are respected without requiring us to dilute our identity. Now, this is where it gets interesting. It says, expecting us to suppress the Christian identity of our schools to accommodate every religious group would infringe upon this freedom. You read a number of articles under the 1992 Constitution. However, the very first article in this Constitution, Article 1, Clause 2, it says, this Constitution shall be the supreme law of Ghana, and any other law found to be inconsistent with any provision of this Constitution shall, to the extent of the inconsistency be void. Now, the very first provision, the Clause 1, says, the sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana, in whose name and for whose welfare the powers of government are to be exercised in the manner and within the limits laid down in this Constitution.
Exactly.
By this statement, are they breaching the 1992 Constitution, the dictates of it?
I think they are in a way. Because as I said earlier, Islamic religion has not yet been declared as an unlawful religion. It is lawful in Ghana, and their rights, their practices must be respected. As I said, how many Islamic schools do we have? It is the Christians that have a lot of schools. So then, if you people are not willing to admit, where else should they go? I cited a number of examples. Do we have Ekanka ASHS? No. So you can't deny them of their unfettered rights. This right is protected in the 1992 Constitution, and it should be observed as such. They are not asking the school to build a mosque for them. They are not asking the school not to go ahead with their compulsory worship or whatever. They are not. But they are only asking that they should be allowed to have observe their Ramadan fasting. They should be allowed to pray. And then what else?
Wear their hijab.
Fine. Even for I'll come back to that one later. But for the observance of the Ramadan, it is a core aspect of the Islamic religion. So then, what will be the effect on the school if they set aside, probably if they are supposed to break their fast later in the day, they can just save their food for them.
That's what we witnessed when I went to secondary school.
Okay.
They used to reserve their meals for them.
Okay.
The country will reserve their meals.
Okay.
When they break their fasts, they come together, they go to the dining hall, they serve them. That is what I observed when I was in secondary school.
Yes, I think, and that should continue. That should continue. The church have a right, but your right ends at the point where someone else's rights begins.
Okay.
So, Article 17, I said, it speaks against discrimination. And as a lawful religious practice in Ghana, they should be accepted, tolerated, and permitted to observe their religion and then their practices and their belief of their religion. That is what I'll say.
Hajjah Anata has joined us. She's Director of Corporate Communication for the Ghana Railway Development Authority. She's a very good friend to the station, but she abandoned us, so we know more. Good morning, Hajjah.
Good morning. Excuse my voice, I'm down with the cold.
Oh, that's okay.
You abandoned me, so please don't. The best way to defend is to attack.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But how have you been, though?
I'm well.
How is the authority dealing with issues of stone pelting?
Anyway, we're trying as much as possible to educate the people and make them understand that this is coming for their own good. This is for all of us. This is taxpayers' money we want to put in practice. I think from the beginning, a lot of them did not take it easy because, especially the squatters, they felt like, okay, if the operation stands and everything goes well, they will be evicted. And so this and many more may be their reasons for doing all that. We lost a life last week, I'm sure you are aware of that, yes. And so we took about a week to educate them, sensitize them, and then let them understand that, look, this is for your own good. I mean, there are drivers, car owners, private cars who come and park at the station and board a train to work and come back and pick their cars. It tells you how useful it is to the people. It tells you how they are welcoming it. I mean, there is this gentleman that told me that, look, I always leave home at 4 a.m. and still get to work very late because of the traffic. But because of the train, I get to office as early as possible and even leave home around 7. And it tells you that this is very, very
essential part of our transport system.
Exactly. And this is what we need the people to understand, that, look, the railway sector is here to stay. We need to let them understand. And I'm using this platform to again talk to them that, look, the railway is there for you. I live in Accra. I don't get the opportunity to board it every now and then. You get it? But you are closer to it. Students, workers, I mean, it's very useful for them. And that is what we need to understand.
Now, to the subject of the religious debate, I mean, you are Muslim. And I know you have a stance already. let me hear you.
You know, I don't usually dress this way to feed you. I chose to dress this way today to tackle that issue. This is something that I don't expect to hear in this our modern Ghana, because we've come a long way. Okay, we've come a long way. There are days where missionary pick our kids. That is where we hear the name John Dramani Mahama, a combination of two names from Christianity. Hawa Kumsin.
Lily Mohammed.
Exactly. There are names like that. Missionary pick the kids and they combine the names. Some of them end up being Christians. Some fortunate to also remain in their religion despite that. And we have come along. We've coexisted in our communities, in our regions, and all that. But then, I'm surprised this issue has come up again. This issue, I remember, was in 2016, John Dramani Mahama declared that all girls' child should be allowed to wear their hijab. Yes. And this issue came, and then we went here and there. Look, I have always said that, look, if I want my child to practice the proper Islamic way of doing things, missionary schools will be my last option, no matter how good they are. If I, Sahadat, want my child to practice Islam the way I want her to, missionary school would be my last option. Okay. No matter how good it is, because I believe they stand on their values. They have their, they have their, what should I say, objectives to protect. They have their core values. Their core values to protect. But even at that, the Muslim child is not asking much, as she said, and I would agree with her on that. The Muslim child is not asking too much. They are only asking that they will be allowed to observe their religion in a very peaceful way, in a very, small corner where they find themselves. You have attested to the fact that in your days, they were allowed to break their fast and do their fasting and all that. We saw this flying all over in the past 8 years. I don't want anybody to think or assume I'm politicizing it. But I felt like our then vice president, who is a Muslim, who practices Islam, didn't do well for us as Muslim. Yes. Because they say when your mother is in the kitchen, you get the best portion of the food, right? We had a Muslim vice president who was running for presidency. And what we needed was for our children in the various schools. Of course, nobody would compel any missionary school to do what they do not want to. You understand? Nobody is going to compel them to do what to do what is against their core value. But I believe that if we have done something about it, this conversation would have been in the past. That is what, when this whole issue started, take it as you want. Say I'm politicizing it. Just say that because I'm an NDC communicator, I want to blah blah. But I have blamed a lot of our Muslims who were in power the past 8 years for not ensuring that, because this issue didn't start today. Last 2, 3, 4 years, students were being denied of fasting. Even when they kept their own food for Zohor, they were denied of doing that. You understand? But I believe that we would get to the bottom of this. We'll get a solution to this. All I am saying is that the missionary schools should just admit the fact that, look, nobody is coming to take away your values. Nobody is coming to chase away your religion from your schools. But what we are asking is that these are fundamental human rights. These are their rights. Let's allow them to practice. Look, as we speak on this, it's not only Muslims who practice fasting. We have Christians who fast. Sure. It is not only Muslims who wear hijab. We have other churches that wear hijabs. I don't know whether you are aware of that. Romans also wear hijab. We have other, there is this woman I have lived with, like in the community for a long time. She uses smayafi and all that. Little did I know she's a Christian. There was a day I saw her wearing all red with white veil, and I was asking her, but where are you going with all red? And she said, oh, Jidi Koko, they wear Mayafi, you get it. And so it's not only Muslim. We are not only talking about Muslim. We've gone past this stage. I don't want to go.
Are you then disappointed in the stance of the Attorney General?
Somehow, I'm not disappointed because I want to understand where the Attorney General is coming from. You get it? I'm tempted to believe that he is not against it, but legally there is some points that he wants to raise. I don't see him going against his Muslim child allowed to do there. But then she is a lawyer, maybe she. But I think that there is for me, because I am a Muslim and because of the values I have been raised with and because of how I understand things, I believe that, look, this is nothing for us to be dragging here and there. Yesterday, I heard that the school has been given ultimatum 14 days to respond to some cases against them. But I believe that we've gone past this. Let us, live like we used to be, very peaceful, in a very harmonious way that we have lived all this while. I remember when it is Christmas, we share each other, we share with each other the gifts and all that. And when it is Salah, I have friends who would pray it is Salah and they would enjoy the Salah rice and all that. And this is how we have lived for a long time. Let's just not use our educational, institutions to start dragging all this. Look, the fact that the child is in a missionary school does not mean that that child, if you stop that child from praying, from fasting, that child would end up becoming Christian. No. The fact that the child is, look, as we speak, we are not centered on the just Christian, missionary school. We have Muslim schools that also compel Christian children to wear hijab. And I don't want us to make it look so obvious that way. She's a Christian. She finds herself in your school. He finds himself in your school. It is not compelled that that child practice what you practice, especially when the institution is a public institution. If it is a private institution, fine. When my child was about 4 years, there was this school he attended. There was a day I took him to school on Wednesday. And then they were worshiping. And then I realized that some were reciting Quran verses. Lord of Peace, that school is around Tantrayo. I turned around and I looked, I said, do we have Makaranta around? No. So where is this Arabic recitation coming from? So I asked the guy, I said, the madam has ordered them that when it's Wednesday and they are worshiping, the Muslims should be separated from the Christians. They teach them the Quran verses. They teach these ones the Bible verses. And I love the school so much that when we were leaving Tantra, I couldn't even allow my child to change a school for him. Because I loved by just doing that, I understand that, no, the woman really understands what we do. And so the Attorney General has his point, which I support fully. And I know where he's heading to. And I am sure it's for the betterment of all of us. But for me as a Muslim and my stance, I believe that we can live harmoniously with our religion, do everything we do without having these chaos around.
Are you expecting Muslim members of parliament to come together in this to raise their voices high when it comes to this issue? Because this issue has been raging for years. Like
not just Muslims. As I said, we have Muslim institutions that also compel other children to wear hijab, to go to do, and even though theirs is not that too hard like the Christian missionary school. Okay. So I'm expecting that members of parliament will do due diligence to this issue. Let's get to the bottom. Let's end this once and for all. Let's put this in the past. Let us raise our children in such a way that they don't discriminate. Let us not raise our children in such a way that Christianity is something that I have to forbid. Islamic is something I have to fight against. Let us not raise our children in that manner. Okay. Because if we start doing this in our secondary school, we've been doing this. But when it becomes so obvious, it's unfortunate. Our children will start having a different mindset, which is not right. You come to Nima, you have a lot of Christians among us. There is this girl in my office, Deborah, who would fast with me the whole month of Ramadan. And I would tell her that, Deborah, you don't have to fast when you are menstruating. And she say, no, me, I'm a Christian. I'm only following you to fast. And she will do that for the 30 days. And this is how we have lived. We shouldn't make the children feel like there is something wrong with Christianity. There is something wrong with Islam religion. That is not it. We all have agreed that we are worshiping the same God in a different angle, from a different perspective. And that is how it is. That is how we should raise it. That is how we should make the children understand it. And then we move forward as a nation.
Okay. Just you have something to add?
No, I'll add, I'll just read Article 25(1) B, 1 and then 1B. So all persons shall have the right to equal educational opportunities and facilities, and with a view to achieve the full realization of that right. I'm going on to the B. Secondary education in its different forms, including technical and vocational education, shall be made generally available and accessible to all by every appropriate means, and in particular by the progressive introduction of free education. So, education is a fundamental human right. I've said a lot of things on this matter. I feel that we should be tolerant. We've cohabited for a very long time, and discrimination at this point won't go anywhere to help us. It will just affect our democracy. It will just affect our peaceful coexistence, and it will affect our joy, because they share in our joy of Christmas. Some Christians also share in the joy of Eid al-Fitr and then Eid al-Adha. So I think we should coexist. And I'm telling the Christians that as the Muslims join the compulsory Sunday church, as they take part in the singing, and it is all forms of evangelism. They might not be converted there and then in the school, but probably in the future they might be influenced. Some might even be so attached, seeing the choristers and then later in the future tend to be Christians. So they should be tolerant. That is it.
Let me take a break. When I come back, we'll talk about a petition by a staff of the Electoral Commission asking for the removal for the Electoral Commissioner and the head deputies. Stay with me.
The second coming. Into all this tension.
is quite imperative for the growth of a continent that we call home.
GHToday here on GHOne TV, and still the breakfast. The ladies are still here. We've been discussing the religious debate when it comes to the Wesley Girls Senior High School. Now let's talk about another interesting subject. I see that the members of the opposition seem to have an interest in this one. The removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and her deputies, a petition on that score by an integrated staff of the Electoral Commission. Let me start with you, Council.
Lily, before I go on to this one, I would just want to say that my sister mentioned that we have other religions in the schools. Mm-hmm. We have the Sunsumsori people, the Jidikoko people. We have even idol worshippers. Mm-hmm. We have the X, mm-hmm. and they all have their way of dressing. Mm-hmm. So then going forward, just to let all sleeping dogs lie, or how would I put it? I think I'm correct. Mm-hmm. We should have a policy regarding the dressing of students, so that at least we can have some form of uniformity.
So you think we need a blanket policy?
Policy across board, so that a Muslim school wouldn't force a Christian to wear hijab, and then a Christian school wouldn't also prevent a Muslim from wearing hijab. We should have, just for uniformity, we should have a blanket policy, mm-hmm. so that someone won't go with rasta, whatever, mm-hmm. someone won't go with a permed hair, with mm-hmm. braids and all that. To ensure uniformity, we should try and then have a policy to settle this matter. But the other practices that are not so visible, outwardly exhibited, mm-hmm. can just take place on the quiet. Okay. Yes, but for uniformity's sake, I think that going forward.
Did not mention anything when I said the previous government didn't do well. Mm-hmm. Because we had a Muslim vice president and a Christian president. You could have solved this issue once and for all. Go ahead with the next topic.
You know what?
But
you know
what? Why are you telling her the things she should respond to?
I will respond.
Okay.
To
No.
I said I'm surprised.
Okay, that is what I said. When it comes to your turn, you respond. Let her respond to this particular thing. She said she wants to respond.
Yes, I think that we should have dealt with it on the Tyrone Magai case concerning the issue of uniformity in schools.
Exactly.
But we just concluded with the High Court's ruling that fine, he should be admitted with his dreadlocks and whatever. But now that the NDC is in power and they have Muslim leaders who are in parliament.
The education minister is Muslim.
I said we will
good.
solve it.
So I'm just throwing this challenge to them that they should have a blanket policy for a uniform dressing for the schools. Uniform appearance. Let me put it. Dressing from head to toe. They should have a blanket.
Well noted. We'll deal with
so
it.
Then now the boys in
we'll prove to you that.
Okay, now let's talk about the matters revolving around the removal of the electoral commissioner.
Lily, you know this was expected.
Was it?
And yes, it was expected.
How so?
Yes, I always say that the NDC made some comments on their campaign platforms way back when they were in opposition. That when they came to power, or when they come to power, the Chief Justice was a goner. The EC would follow. The OSP would follow. So it is no news to me to wake up to hear that people have sent petitions to the it's one, right?
Yes.
Yes, and they've sent petition to the president for the removal of the EC chair. Come to think of it, for what? They claim she's incompetent. They claim she's what? Is it cronyism? Yes. As in favoring whatever over. They claim she has abused her office. I see these grounds to be very frivolous. Why do I say this? I say this because it is this same EC, out of her incompetence, so-called, has brought this NDC into government. The EC oversee to the elections 2024, that is December 7th election. She did everything, and then the NDC is now in government. So where lies her incompetence? Where lies her incompetence? She oversaw the Akwetia elections, the Ablekuma elections, all the rerun in favor of NDC. So what else did they want? I feel that it was a campaign promise. And now they promised as in accordance of hierarchy. The Chief Justice is gone. Now they have found a replacement. So now they have to move on to the next. Their next target now is the EC. So honestly, Lily, I am not surprised. And you know, the last time I sat here and said that if as a state and as a so-called democratic state like Ghana, if we don't sit down and have guidelines and have policies regulating the operations of the president and Article 146, then we should expect continual arbitrariness. We should expect abuse of power. We should expect abuse of fundamental human rights. We should expect unfairness. Because right now, let me tell you, the petition will go to the president and Article 146. The president, because the EC chair is equivalent to a court of appeal judge in rank and in everything. So that if an allegation is brought against the EC chair, the removal process is same as a court of appeal judge. So the petition goes to the president. The president forwards same to the Chief Justice, who would have to determine a prima facie case. The Chief Justice upon whatever, or having a prima facie case
establishing
would constitute a 3-member committee. I stand to be corrected. You can read Article 146 so that you help guide me. A 3-member committee in consultation with the Council of State. The Council of State they are all appointed by the president, and now we have a Chief Justice. I wouldn't want to borrow the word of the minority leader, but I would say we have a disputed Chief Justice because matters are still not yet settled.
If you say a disputed Chief Justice, what do you mean?
You know, now there are still pending issues, and I heard that they claim, as in the NDC claims that when the judgments are out and then it goes in favor of Tokunu or whatever, they will do the needful. They will be obliged by whatever judgments that comes out. So just permit me to use it for this second. So, if truly...
but the 3-member committee does not have to have a member of the Council of State.
Not a member. They are appointed in consultation with the Council of State.
Yes.
That was what I said.
Okay.
And I'm saying that the Council of State, they are all appointed by the President. So then, Lily, it has made it so easy for us to remove a Chief Justice. That it will also make it easy to remove an EC chair.
But there's precedent when it comes to removal of the EC chair. If you say it has made it easy.
It has made it
was
easy.
easier before, so why?
No. Now it has made it much easier. Honestly, the Charlotte Osei case.
Is it?
Lily. The Charlotte Osei case.
It was the same.
It was
like somebody would say,
the last time. Lily, I don't have my documents here on this, but the last time I brought it on the matters of I brought it and I read out her allegations to you, involving huge sums of money, involving procurement breaches, which punishment can even be imprisonment. So they were substantive allegations. But come to think of it, cronyism. How will you be able to prove cronyism? How are you going to prove this? Gross incompetence have been able to bring you back to power and made you win all your rerun.
But if you say bring you back to power, that's an EC stuff, not a member of the NDC. Are you not jumping the gun here?
I'm not what?
Are you not jumping the gun here? Because the person has not been stated to be a known member of the NDC. The person is a staff of the Electoral Commission.
A staff of the... No, I'm addressing the allegations against the allegations in the...
Against Jane Mensah?
No, yes, Jane Mensah.
Yeah,
they're saying that gross incompetence.
But you're saying that the gross incompetence brought the NDC into power.
Yes.
This is one person saying, not the NDC saying. This is a member of the EC staff saying. That's what I'm trying to point out. But you go ahead with your submission, please. Not to cut you. Sorry.
Anyway, that is. But I don't know the political affiliation of
exactly. That's what I was trying
that
to
person.
Yeah.
But I'm just addressing it as a general thing because some people might even. And I said earlier that I heard on platforms that this EC is a goner. The moment the NDC comes to power, they are just going. And there are countless occasions that even their party chairman have mentioned that this EC is incompetent. Lily, haven't you heard the same? The whole Mr. Esedun Kitia mentioned that the EC is incompetent.
But didn't you equally call Charlotte Osei incompetent in the past? Is that to say that because some members of the NPP called Charlotte Osei incompetent, it was on the basis of that she was removed?
Incompetent. You can't just mention incompetent. You should support it with evidence. Even if the NPP called Charlotte Osei incompetent, they provided the necessary evidence of procurement breaches, of partitioning offices with huge sums of money. The evidence to whatever allegations they raised were there. So the allegations were supported with evidence. That is my point. So then, as I cronyism, how are you going to support it? And this, I'm on gross incompetence because she's been called gross incompetence since the NDC came to power. But I want to ask, how can someone who is incompetent oversee an election that will bring you to power? And even after coming into power, she has have real runs in other constituencies, as in Ablekuma North, as in Ekwatia, and you have won. So where lies her incompetence? I would always say that I wouldn't be surprised if a prima facie case is established against her by the Chief Justice and sent forwarded to committee, which would probably result in a subsequent removal, because she shouldn't also be surprised because it was a promise, a campaign promise, which has been rehashed even by the national chairman of the NDC.
Okay. Haja.
I don't know whether my sister was in this country for the past 8 years.
Why?
Because she speaks as if she was nowhere close to Ghana when Ghanaians were, not NDC, Ghanaians were calling out for Charlotte Osei to do due diligence to that office. Let me state this on a fact that you have clarified to her, that the petitioner is a staff of the Electoral Commission.
And I corrected.
Yeah,
I said that even a chairman of the NDC has also mentioned same.
No.
And he continually rehashes it.
Don't
Really,
worry. I'll get to that.
I think
what I
she's
want
not
you to
referring to that
understand is that
statement,
the petitioner is a staff of the Electoral Commission who has been working with them for the past 12 years. From 2012. If I should say from 2012.
That's 13 years.
For 13 years. And for the past 2 years, he has been interdicted without anybody knowing. You are in the media. I don't know whether you are aware of that.
I know.
Okay. I do not know. And this is somebody...
Oh, you mean his interdiction 2 years ago? I didn't know. I am now learning.
Okay. Good. So nobody knows.
I mean, I learned of it when the issue of the petition came.
Exactly. This is somebody who is the head of database. Whatever issue that transpired for him to be interdicted, did the Electoral Commission deem it fit to communicate to the people that gave her the mandate? The stolen BVD, whatever they call it, BVD, which was found at scrap dealers or whatever. All this was behind the curtains. We never heard of it until this petitioner came out. Now, if we say Charlotte Osei, when we come to what our chairman general, said about the Electoral Commission, you need not to ask for proof, or you need not to ask reasons, because we all saw what happened in 2020 elections. First time in the history of this country, people were killed. A minor lost her life in the process of election. The Electoral Commission didn't deem it fit to explain to the general public what really transpired. One, for the first time in the history of this country, we had a president who ruled for 8 years without a certified election result. Because in 2020, the Electoral Commission came up with 3 different results. 3. She came first time, she came the second time, she came the third time, and all the 3, when you calculate, it's more than 100%, it's below 100%, and all sort of things. You call this competency? Is this what's... Anyway, if the NPP says she is competent, I understand, because when they presented a group of competent men to solve our economic crisis, we saw what happened. And so their definition of competency may be what they see, but to the NDC, this is below the belt. Now, JDM, Abai Papaba, the visionary leader, the man who is not just tall in height, but tall in his vision, as said by this young girl, Hassana, is there. And a petition has been presented to him. It is the right of the petitioner for the president to look into the matter. Whatever you call it, whether it is a campaign promise you call it, whatever you call it, it is a responsibility on the president to work on that petition. And that is exactly what the president is going to do. Okay. When Charlotte Osei was removed from the office, we are yet to see the petitioners of Charlotte Osei. The allegations leveled against her, we are yet to know where it came from. But thank God we have Joseph alive, who has responded to a countless interviews. I think I heard him on Asempa when he responded to some issues. That is where I even got to know he was interdicted for 2 years. Anything about Charlotte say when we speak about it, we don't just say it because the NDC understand what competence is. Because the NDC and I define competency as competency, not the so-called competency the MPP defines it. But we, the NDC or the government, are nowhere close to this petition. We have no business with this petition, even though we have our reservation when it comes to Charlotte Osei. For the first time in 2024, we had an election, and for 3 months we are still fighting for election results. We had about 4 outstanding constituencies who are still fighting for their election results. And I asked myself, is this woman the woman we say women lead and everything? I mean, women are multi-purpose women. I mean, women of substance, woman of... I mean, is this who she is? Because we've never witnessed that anywhere from the 1992 election till date. What happened in Ablekuma North, what happened is mere incompetence. But as I said, and I repeat, we, the NDC, are nowhere close to this petition. And so I would want the MPP to treat this matter. The incompetence of the NDC, or what happened in Ablekuma North. Come again.
When she lands.
No, I want to understand what she just said.
No, I'm just referring, just rehashing.
I mean, you'll be in the office and all sort of things will be happening during election, and you want us to believe you are competent. I mean, we don't. And as I said, look, the MPP, your definition of competency
Joyce, please
is when you presented. These are competent men who are going to, solve our economic crisis. And then you took us from the corridor of freedom to the gutters where we couldn't even lift our head. Thanks to Honorable Ato Folsen, the man we trust. That is what we call competency. We still have our dollar at 12, 11, 10 thereabout.
The dollar is 11.
And we are enjoying it. This Christmas by now the dollar would have been around 20 because and then don't worry. At least we console ourselves with the fact that the dollar is working. And so the definition of your competency, of course you can call Jane Mensah competent. But I will repeat as I kept repeating. The NDC is nowhere close to this petition. The guy has given his reasons. And in his interdiction, there was a court issue they failed to respond to. As a legal practitioner, have you looked into that? A whole institution was summoned to court and they failed to respond to allegations leveled against them. Are you not worried about that? As a woman that you are, as a woman who supports a woman, as a woman we want women to rise above every time. Don't you see that there is something wrong? Don't you see that the woman you presented to Ghanaians, I have said this, Lily, if you remember, on this same chair, I sat and said that if Jane Mensah would consider the fact that she is a woman and that good names is better than riches, she would do due diligence to that office and forget being partisan. She allowed the MPP to use and manipulated her all this while. If you remember very well, when we were running for our presidential election, primaries, between His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and then, Kobna Dufo, we wake up in the morning and then Electoral Commission says she cannot supervise the election because there has been a challenge. Now, Kobna Dufo sent a letter to the party office, not to the Electoral Commission, saying that he's not okay with some of the things that is happening. She chose not to supervise that election because she heard that Kobna Dufo has presented a letter to our party headquarters, but went ahead to go on with the registration even when the court has sent an injunction on her. And you call this woman competent. Anyway, this is not for me to defend. I have always said this, that when we came to power, that look, I'm not here to defend everything everybody does, or go against everything. This is a fight, a home fight. This is somebody who is with her. This is somebody she has worked with. This is somebody she came and met in office. This is somebody who has worked under, what do you call it, under Charlotte Osei. This is somebody who has worked under Jane Mensah. And he is telling Ghanaians that this is the type of woman she is. This is the kind of things they do in that office. These are the irregularities that goes on in that office. Are you, as a patriotic Ghanaian, saying that the president should not look into it? Whatever you call it, campaign promise, whatever you call it, Lily just ask you that, look, haven't you set a precedent? And almost all the time, you've set precedent that today you are running away from it. And I'll hear your minority leader, super micro minority leader, will say that, oh, the fact that we have done it does not mean you should do it, and for we to also come and do it, and it is not well for our democracy. Look, this is a petition and democracy we are running. The president will look into it, and what is supposed to be done will be done.
I'm not saying really. I would respond.
I'll let you respond, but I want to touch on my next topic so that you can have a chance to I mean, it's an interest to you, the NPP, isn't it, on the order for rerun of the Pandai constituency.
That calls for this.
But I have the Member of Parliament for Pandai, Matthew Ndamo, on phone with me this morning. Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing?
Lily of the Valley, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. It's good to know that you're doing well too. I know that you successfully filed your appeal on the order for rerun.
Yes, let me greet you, and then I greet your crew, and then viewers or listeners. Just like you said, we were in court on the 24th. The verdict was read, and then as law abiding citizens, although we disagree with the verdict, but the next thing we can do is to move ahead to the higher court, which is the appeal court. So my lawyer successfully filed the appeal and filed the stay of execution too as well. So as we speak, that's what we have done. And we strongly hope that the appeal court will look into the matter, and then the truth obviously will come out. That's our prayer.
If you are not successful, then what at this particular appeal?
Well, I won my seat with a margin of 3,734. It's a clear victory. The people of Mandai voted for me. And I sincerely believe that they voted for me because they believed in me. And I've never disappointed them. The one who is contesting me strongly today, I lost my seat to him in 2020 elections by 2,072 votes. The constituents tested him. They gave him power. They realized that he cannot be of use to them. They brought me back. Today, he's in government. I was in government and I lost the seat to him. MPP, under such circumstances, we could have done what he's doing. I was called, but I told the president that the people of Pandai have not given me the mandate again. I will not share bribes in Pandai. I will not kill people because I want to overturn their verdict. I successfully handed over to him. I was a leader in government. I never disturbed the system because the wishes of the people is what I should respect. If today it ended up that the court decided that we should go for a rerun, I have nobody. I know what they intend to do. They intend to use the state machinery. They intend to use the state resources. They intend to use whatever they can to deploy to Panda and force and twist my hand and take the seat back. But I sincerely believe that the people of Panda will speak. When we are pushed to the wall, and it is that we must go for the election, the people of Panda will speak. They voted for me because they know who I am. They rejected him because they know who he is. By the end of the day, my God is alive. That's all I'll say.
Now, the judgment on the rerun is not ready. We know that it will be ready on Friday. So on what basis do you file this appeal? Could you have waited?
Yes. If you lose or you disagree with the judgment, the processes are there for you to follow. And my lawyer has complied and followed the processes. In as much as we are waiting for the judgment, as they said, to be ready on Friday, my lawyer will take it up and he will do a supplementary to whatever he has filed. And then the court will take it from there. We have filed the stay of execution, and my lawyer told me that the motion is supposed to be moved on the 17th of next month. So we are waiting to see how the court will behave or how the whole thing will go. But like I said, I have a God. I have the people. Let's wait and let my God speak.
Now, on what specific basis are you appealing this order? Is it that you, in your estimation, the resulting contention cannot override the about 3,700 vote gap?
At court examination, their chief witness, when he was questioned that, what is the vote in contention? He said the vote in contention is 500. So even if we donate 500, although I know that all those votes I got and the infractions they are talking about, they never went to court to attack the results. They only went to court and said that there were irregularities. Whatever irregularities, my dear sister, if you take the tension, you'll just laugh. So the vote in contention that they mentioned is about 500. And even if you take 500, generously give it to them, I would have still beaten him by over 3,200 plus. There are people in Parliament who won the assist less than even 200. Even in Parliament, the sixth Parliament, we had an MP who came to Parliament with 3 votes. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we think that the whole judgment that came, we disagree with the judgment. We disagree with it because nothing untoward happened in Pandai. And I know for sure that the people of Pandai know. And the NDC themselves know very well that I won the election handsomely and hands down. That I believe. But people will tell you that the law is in the bosom of the judge. That I cannot say. I believe and pray that if we really want to keep our democracy alive and want to make sure that elections are won at the polling station, because all the 152 polling stations, with the exception of 2, that agents raised questions, 1 NPP, 1 NDC, all the 152 polling stations, there was no single polling station that an agent raised any issue. They all append their signatures to the pink sheet and confirm the sanity and the proper conduct of the election. I am waiting for somebody to point to me using the CI 127 as amended, one breach that the Electoral Commissioner has caused. Nothing, because if they talk about the coalition, at the cross-examination, this question was asked, and the agent said they were at the coalition. And then the people came and attacked the coalition on the 8th around 8 to 9 o'clock. And you have the news. If you take your media reportage, check around December 8th. You will see how they came with their pickup, brothers, MDC pickup, vandalized the place, made life so uncomfortable. And then the security agencies at that particular time and the BNI, the police commander, they all advised that, looking at how the situation is, if we don't take care, we're going to share blood. So they
Honorable,
asked all of us to come.
Honorable, on the basis of the violence that you talk about, would you then agree that at least there's a perception of an electoral integrity here?
Sorry?
I'm asking, you are enumerating a number of things, including violence, that characterize collation. I'm asking if you would agree that at least there's a perception of electoral integrity here.
Whether they've done what?
There's a perception of electoral integrity.
You see, the integrity of the election was not attacked because at the collation center, their plan was to destroy the pink sheets. Unfortunately for us, we secured all the pink sheets.
Okay.
So they have their 152 pink sheets, which they attested to the fact. We have our 152 pink sheets. We also attest to that fact. So the pink sheets were not attacked.
Okay.
It's only the collation center that was attacked. So when the collation was done, it was led with the declaration, and they came in strongly, and we realized that lives were going to be lost. It wasn't that the EC region advised that he should let all of us come to the region, which announcement was made. And they refused, knowing very well that they lost the election. They refused to follow. So at cross-examination, when the lawyer asked him, he said he was at the collation center, which is on the proceeding. And then although he said he didn't hear the announcement, but he saw the police officers escorting the EC, and they were going towards Tamale.
Okay.
That's what he said. The chief witness of the NDC, that's what he said. So he was at the collation, he saw the EC, he saw the police escorting the materials or whatever he told me, and they were going towards Tamale.
Okay.
If you're an agent and you have won election, and somebody needs a material, would you follow? Especially with the police. He never moved alone. You said he moved with the escort of the police.
Okay.
You admitted violence. And the CI is clear. If you take the CI as amended, if a candidate or his agents refuse to be present at collation, it does not invalidate any results.
Okay.
Except the CI. It is clear. So we think that we won the elections. We think that the court has come out with the first verdict, which we disagree, although we have to accept. We are waiting for the higher court, and we pray and hope. We pray and hope that the integrity of our democracy will be held to the highest esteem.
All right. We wish you all the best in that regard. Thank you very much. That's Matthew Nyindam. He's a member of parliament for Kwandai, whose constituency is now in contention. There's a rerun order. He has filed an appeal and a stay of execution. Council, let me take your thoughts briefly. I'm out of time, unfortunately.
I'll visit the EC, just 1 minute. I would want to read the functions of the Electoral Commission from the Constitution. I'm reading Article 45. You can follow. Article 45, subsections 1A to F. The Electoral Commission shall have the following functions: to compile the register of voters and revise it at such periods as may be determined by law. B, to demarcate the electoral boundaries of both national and local government elections. And then C, to conduct and supervise all public elections and referenda. D, to educate the people on the electoral processes and its purposes. E, to undertake programs for the expansion of the registration of voters. And F, to perform such other functions as may be prescribed by law.
Okay.
She mentions the altercations in Akwatia and then Ablekuma North. The Akwatia incident was initiated by an NDC member. Is it so for Avoka or whatever?
So far,
yes.
Okay.
So for Azoka. Yes, that's the name. So then, if there is any incompetence, it is honestly security in electoral process. It's within the mandate of the Ghana Police Service. So then, the EC is not armed with any weapons to oversee to security matters.
Okay.
That is why we deploy security personnel to every electoral or election ground to oversee the sanity and to protect life. See what happened at Ablekuma North. The security, they were just standing there for Hawa Kumsin to be killed. That was all that they wanted. See what they did to the NDC, NDC MPP man. I've forgotten his name. So then, if there is any incompetence, it is not with the EC, but it all boils down to the NDC. They've been incompetent since time immemorial. Okay. And even in government,
on the
they are still incompetent.
Election, which also borders on the election.
On the Pandai elections, you know, I feel that the judgment should have just gone in favor of what was contested in court. Okay. I don't know, I stand to be correct, but I hear that they contested 41 polling stations out of 152. Or what? Is it 152?
A little over 152.
Yes,
yeah.
152. So then why would you extend it to all other polling stations? So that is my worry. But I'm happy that they have filed stay of execution. You know, judgment, the moment the court gives judgment, nothing prevents execution. The moment a court of competent jurisdiction gives judgment, nothing can prevent execution except by an order of a court. So then it is in order that they have filed the stay of execution. At least, if same is granted, then it will give time to the Court of Appeal to determine the matter, because the Court of Appeal is the final appellate court to parliamentary issues here in Ghana. So then I pray that though the granting of stay of execution is discretionary, but they are guided, I think, under the Court Act 459, Section 173, guides the grants of stay of execution. That is, if it will bring. I wish I could just read a brief of it.
Unfortunately, we don't have.
We don't have time. Yeah. So though it is discretionary, I pray that the court would consider the hardship that would be meted out to the incumbent.
Okay.
So they should just grant same for the Court of Appeal to have a final determination on the matter. Then we all will be obliged by the court's determination and findings.
Okay. Haja, let me take your thoughts before then we can wrap up.
This boils down to incompetency of the Electoral Commission.
Okay.
1 year down the line, we still have election being petitioned. We still have issues with 2024 elections. If this is not incompetency, what is it? The word incompetency came out from the MPP, and today it has consumed them like fire. You see it all over them. Even in opposition, they are still incompetent. Even in opposition, they are still irrelevant. And I am looking forward to somebody who can they can auction MPP for the person to redecorate the party for them, because from the way they are handling it, even in opposition, they will feel that position they hold as opposition leaders, they are likely to lose that position to maybe CPP or any other political party that will make an effort. With the NDC, we are ready. If the court says we should rerun, we are ready. Okay. We are talking about 41 polling stations out of 52 polling stations.
Out of
152 polling stations. Is that not a significant number? Should we overlook that? No, this is 41. Unlike when you were in power, the people of SAR were denied representative for 4 years. Is that not so? The court has ruled, and that is Ghana working again. The NDC has nothing to do with this. They went to court. That is the judgment. We are ready. He has filed. We are waiting. At any given time, the court says rerun. We are ready. And look, when you start with, we'll use all the machinery to take the seat away from you. It only means that Ghanaians have now tasted a real governance. And so if you know and you are aware that you must lose that seat, just start preparing for it. But with the NDC, we are well prepared. And I want my sister to understand that, look, Ghanaians are enjoying the governance of John Dramani Mahama. In fact, Ghanaians are saying that, so this is who John Dramani Mahama is.
Okay.
This is what he can do. I mean, rise from 157 to 80 cities and 60 cities and 70 cities. tells you that Ghana is working again. Okay. Stop pushing every challenge you have.
Unfortunately.
No time.
Unfortunately. No. I'm overstretched. I'm giving you enough time.
Stop pushing your burdens to NDC.
You know, they have a mass world.
Okay, ladies, thank you. Thank you.
That is why they are calling for
thank you.
Like they did
Don't go on that time.
Thank you. That's Joyce Square.
So you lost
Joyce, thank you. Hajia, thank you. That's Joyce Square. She is a member of the NPP legal director. Joyce, you are talking over me now. Hajia, thank you. I love the two of you.
The next time you go,
Hajia Saada Twalasan is head of corporate communication for the Ghana Rural Development Authority. And Joyce Owusu-Abefia mentioned as a member of the NPP legal directorate. When I come back after this break, we'll talk some science. Ladies, thank you. We'll talk some science. We'll head to the church, and then we'll also talk about the Global Entrepreneurship Festival. Stay with me. on GHOne TV. I am Lily Mohammed. Yesterday, we started a conversation on the Global Entrepreneurship Festival, which was held over the weekend. It was such a huge success, and a lot of entrepreneurs are clamoring for more of such. Unfortunately, it has to swing and go around the globe. But this morning, I've been joined by Nanabing Romot. He is the General Manager, Johnson Enrollment Solutions Limited. Good morning. How are we doing? Good morning. I'm awesome. Thank you for asking. How was it at the Global Entrepreneurship Festival? Okay. Okay. You're welcome back. We do apologize for that inaudible sound there. You know that sometimes technology is not your best ally, but thankfully our technicians are always up to the task. And I mean, you're talking about the Global Entrepreneurship Festival, your experience with it.
Right. So as I was saying, it's one of the experiences I would want everybody to get, right? And then I was just praying that even next year, they bring it back to Ghana, but
unfortunately, those are wishes.
I understand. I mean, meeting people like Dr. Sam Jonah, listening to his speech, so great, right? So we are here just to implement and make sure that whatever we've learned, we'll bring it out there to benefit our people and then the community as well. Yes.
Johnson Enrollment Solutions, what are you into?
So Johnson Enrollment Solutions are into construction. Right, we do project management and then facility management. Right, that is our biggest of it all. Right, and then we have our home appliance company where we sell all sorts of home appliances. That is Johnson Enrollment Solutions for you.
Okay. You're doing something along the London beaches in Moree.
Right. So Johnson Enrollment Solutions is the company that is officially mandated to make sure that the Moree landing beach is operational and functional, right? That is what we have been mandated to do, to bring order and then proper management of the Moree landing beach, you know, to operate as a third-party management company on behalf of the Assembly right? We are also to ensure compliance, accountability, and safety and transparency in the Moree landing beach, and to transform the landing beach into a modern and an efficient economic hub for the people of Central Region and Ghana as a whole.
Okay. So is it something you're going to extend beyond Moree if you talk about the people of the Central Region?
Right. So Moree is the biggest fishing community in the whole of Ghana, if not the whole of West Africa. Because everywhere you go in this country, you see Moree people doing fishing, right? So Moree is a standard. The first fisherman, Freddy Kweja, is from Moree, right? So if you are talking about fishing, then it is Moree. So it is Moree that we are starting with, then we expand to other communities along the coast. You know, Central Region has the biggest coastal belt. So, yes. So that is our vision, that as we started with the first place where fishing actually started, then we can move and go out there.
How's the reception from indigents there?
I mean, I am from Moree, born and bred in Moree. I grew up in Moree. We came to Accra, started business, right? And then God being so good, we find ourselves back in there. So I'm with my people, right? So being with your people is so great, and I've been accepted, and together we are all coming on board to make sure that we grow the place. So I have a great reception in there. The company has been accepted, and we are pushing.
Absolutely. Going forward, what's the vision of Johnson and Wilmot Solutions?
Now, Father, we've done some few interventions in there, right? We've restored order and then organization at the landing beach. You know, it has not been operational for a very long time since when they did it in 2018, right? And since it has been sitting there, we came in and we are making sure there is order. We've already started recruitment of workers, and we're calling many people to come in because there are a lot of employment that we're looking at. We have revived the ice making machine, right, which has been idle for so many years. We've started production of ice flakes to support the fisher
ice
folks.
Flakes?
Yes. I mean, ice flakes is the standard that is accepted in preserving seafood. Right, so you know how people sometimes they go to sea, they spend about 7 days, they spend 4 days, and then when they are going, they need these ice flakes to preserve the fish until they come offshore to offload, right, and to sell. So this is one of the major things that they need, and that is what we've done. We've tried to revive the ice making machine.
And how has it been for the fisher folks?
I mean, it has been. The impact on the fisher folks is so great. Fishermen now have readily available ice, right, reducing post-harvest losses, right. We've boosted in the local fishing economy, right. We've created jobs for the youth of Moree, reduction in conflict and disorder at the landing beach, because almost every time this one is saying this because there is no leadership, there is no order, right. So that's what we've done. We have improved hygiene and operational standards in there. You know, most of our beaches are very dirty now, and we've taken that initiative to even start cleaning the beaches, right? And I believe what President Mohammed has said recently concerning making sure that our beaches are clean, and already Johnson and Wilmot Solutions have already stepped in to make sure we get this thing going so our beaches can be clean. And then we've strengthened relationship between the assembly and then even the people of Moree and Abrasibu Kamankase as a whole.
Going forward, for entrepreneurs like you, or for young people who want to go into spaces that you are, what's your encouragement to them?
Right, so our vision going forward is to expand the production of our production capacity, right? Because as I said, Moree is the biggest fishing community, and then all over our areas we will need great production, right? So that is one of the major things we're looking at, and then we'll establish coastal facilities, right, over there where people do not have to travel all the way to Tema to get fish, right, but to come to the landing beach and buy it, because we have this storage facility where you can buy your fish from there. Again, we'll also be having storages for fish preservation. So you don't have to send your fish anywhere. Just come and keep it, right, and store it. Again,
that's a good initiative.
Yes. Our major focus is to make sure the place is transformed right from being a landing beach to a fishing harbor, where vessels can even come and deck on high seas and then bring their fish to our shores to sell. Because see, if you go to Makwala, if you go to Kumasi, KJTR, right, if you go to Takrady Central Market, almost all the markets that they sell fish, you will see, even at the Baraka Market, you will see Mori people, they are fishmongers, right? They sell most of their fishes. So if our landing beach is functional, it means that all the canoes can come there, all the fishes can come there, and then people can just come and buy from us. And Mori people, they are ready to buy the fish, smoke it, right, and then make money out of it.
Absolutely. We pray that a lot of entrepreneurs would take up initiatives like this to help the local.
That is one of the major things that we're looking at, that because we want to grow, want to make it big, we are calling on all and sundry to come in, all entrepreneurs that feel they are into that space with that expertise, right, with that knowledge, to come in, and then together we can grow our landing beaches to be profitable and bring it to a standard.
Absolutely. That's Nabin Wilmot. He's General Manager for Johnson and Wilmot Solutions Limited. He's calling on all entrepreneurs, come together. Let's help local indigents.
I will want to greet some few people, especially the chief and people of Mori, right? My MP, Honorable Felix Kwachu, he's doing so well. You know, he's making the place, so great. I call him the AAK Moses. Right? And then special greetings to Honorable Daniel Mensah-Wadi, who is the DC of Abrasibu Kwamankasi. In fact, he is the one that we had a conversation with, and then seeing the landing beach sitting there for so many years, says, "Oh, let us see what we can do." That is how we collaborated to make sure this happens. And then greetings to all workers of Johnson and Wilmot Solutions.
Absolutely. I take a break here. When I come back, we'll talk some science, and then I'll take you to church. this week, and I've been joined in studio by Dr. Justice Opariodo. He's research scientist, CSIR Animal Research Institute, and Tay Alphonse Benote. He's a paraveterinarian, CSIR Animal Research Institute. Good morning, gentlemen. It's good to have you.
Good to have you, madam. Thank you so much for having us.
You are most welcome. Now, antimicrobial resistance, for the layperson out there, what does it mean? And why must I, a regular person, care about it?
Okay, thank you very much. So antimicrobial resistance, to the layperson, we say that when the microbes that causes infections refuse to respond to treatment. So we know that there is bacteria that causes infection, there are viruses, there are fungi, there are parasites that causes infections. And we have drugs that we use to treat these kind of infections. But it gets to a point where these drugs are not functioning very well against these particular microbes that we are treating the infections of. And so because they have developed resistance. Now, if you look at it, in Ghana, we used to use chloroquine, right? That was a popular
dreaded medication.
Exactly, very bitter and all. But we have seen that over time, we are not using it. Why are we not using it again? Because the parasite has now developed resistance to that drug, and the drug has become ineffective. So you take it, and then you are still having your symptoms, or you are not recovering from whatever infection that you are having. And so it is like the WHO defined it as a silent pandemic. People are not really seeing it, but it is really killing a lot of people as a result of the resistance that these microbes are developing. So every one of us is supposed to care, because you don't know when you are going to contract an infection, and you don't know whether this particular organism that I'm having here is resistant, or is a resistant type, or it is not a resistant type. And so the first thing you have to do is to make sure that you do not get infections, or do anything in your power to reduce infections. So yes, basically that is what it is about antimicrobial resistance. Yeah.
Now, for me as a regular person, if I am constantly taking antibiotics, the slightest indication that I'm immediately taking antibiotics, is that abuse tantamount to antimicrobial resistance?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
In fact, with the misuse of antibiotics or any other antimicrobials, they can all lead to possibilities of resistance. For instance, if you have been prescribed a drug for a particular infection, we have people who may not complete the course of the treatment. If you do that, you are creating an organism that will become resistant to that drug with time. We have other people who, even though they get the right prescription, they may not also take it well. So anytime you take antibiotics or any other drugs indiscriminately without proper prescription, you are exposing yourself to. And that also happens to animals as well. If you use drugs indiscriminately on animals, you are also likely to build the resistance from there. So as you also eat the meat, you carry that resistant microorganism into you. So when you get the infection, and it happens to be that organism, you cannot treat it, and it becomes life-threatening.
On the environment, are there effects on the environment as well? Because if somebody abuses antibiotics with an animal, I, as a human being, I consume, then there's a resistance. What effect does it have on the environment?
For the environment, so you see, when these animals take in these antibiotics or takes in these drugs, what happens is they shed them out through their feces. Okay, so it lands into, or it ends up in the environment. And once it ends up in the environment will now hold on to it. It serves as a reservoir. So you get to see that whatever you are doing, in the efforts you are putting into kind of like treat infections in humans, once you treat them, the person goes to the environment and gets them back again. So the environment is more like a deposit for this particular superbugs that we are having, or the resistant bacteria that we are having. And so we need to make sure that the environment is also healthy. Because under the One Health banner, which is a concept that shows the interconnectedness between humans, the animals, and the environment, whatever that affects the environment affects us, and it affects our animals. And so we all have to have a holistic approach when it comes to dealing with antimicrobial resistance.
So how do we reduce this?
How do we reduce it?
Yeah, we can reduce this incident by ensuring that you don't dispose of use containers of antibiotics, particularly on farms. Then normally it should be buried. You bury those containers or you burn them so that the residue will not be with the environment. We can also decide to use probiotics instead of the antibiotic we normally use. You use those probiotics to enhance the animals or even the human being, so that you don't develop infection that can. You can also use biosecurity measures on your farm to make sure your animals don't get infected. That will result in the frequent use of the antibiotics if there need be, or any other microbial. Even we as humans too, we must do simple hygienic measures like washing our hands and all that, so that we don't get infected, so that we reduce the incidence of infection that will call for the use of these antimicrobials.
In this fight against antimicrobial resistance, how do we all contribute? I am in the media, you are in academia, for people who are in the religious sects, churches, mosques, schools, how do they help in eradicating? Is this something we can totally do away with, or is something that is a gradual process?
Thank you. I think it is something we can do away with, but not totally. Not totally, but with behavioral change, we can really reduce it. Because if the researchers are taking their side, conducting surveillance, active surveillance, knowing that, okay, this is what is happening on the ground. Now they inform policymakers, and then policymakers put structures in place. You and I has to create the awareness. You, the media, will have to help us create awareness and get people to understand that this issue is very important, and we need to adhere to whatever policies or whatever directions that are being brought out. And so the churches can really help, because the churches is able to get people grouping, and once you get someone who is an expert who is an expert in that field, he can come to talk to the people, give them an understanding of what is happening. And so all of us will have a role to play. As my colleague said, we need to do anything possible to make sure that infections are reduced. We have to keep hygiene. Personal hygiene is important. Sanitation in our environment, we need to make sure that even on our farms, as farmers, we also make sure that the biosecurity measures are well in place. And all this can help us to reduce infections. Once the infections are reduced, we don't even need the antibiotics or antimicrobials that we have to use. Yes.
What happens if as a society we don't act on it now? Nothing.
We now face an existential threat as a result of that, because commonly cases like wounds, when we have wounds, these are easy things that should heal. But if for one reason or the other this wound is infected with a resistant organism, you are not likely to recover. You may end up dying, or maybe your recovery might be slow. By the time the health professional might know that you are dealing with a resistant organism, it might pass on. And then animals that are also under treatment, once they are also dealing with resistant microorganisms, they may not recover. And it's all going to bring a lot of economic losses to the farmer and to the nation as a whole.
You want to add something?
Finally? Yes. And so, like he said, we actually have to pay attention to reducing the use of that. And we need to make sure that we stick to, because sometimes we go to the hospitals, they give us a prescription, and then we do not follow it through. So we need to follow through to the end, so that we don't give these bacteria or these microbes a space for them to develop resistance. We need to follow through the whole regimen. And the same applies to the farmers as well. You always have to contact the vet for the vets to come in and then give you direction as to what to do. We are also exposed here to various types of antibiotics. We can just walk into the pharmacy. So our pharmacist has to be there to help us to make sure that when someone comes to the shop without prescription, you do not give them. Yes, so you have to regulate that space because it's a threatening issue. If we don't take measures, we might not say, it's not like, let's say, COVID. We think, oh, COVID, we give it a lot of attention. The same attention we have to give to antimicrobial resistance because common infections may not be easily treated, and that will become a problem for us.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for this education. I think that a lot of us who the slightest indication of anything happening to us, we just walk to the pharmacy and say, I want this antibiotic, because probably in the past it's been prescribed for us and we see signs and symptoms of recurring situations. We want to go back and get it. Please get yourself checked and stop abusing antibiotics, especially for your animals as well. Thank you very much. That's Dr. Justice Opare Odoi. He's research scientist, CSIR Animal Research Institute, and Tay Alphonse Penote. He's veterinarian, CSIR Animal Research Institute. Thank you very much once again, gentlemen. When I come back, I take you to church. So the lady behind this beautiful song is here, Mavis Asante. Many years ago, a lot of us saw her on the screens of Mentor. Afterwards, so we didn't see her in a while, and then later she came back on our screens with beautiful songs. Mavis Asante, how have you been?
Good morning.
Good morning, my darling.
I've been wonderful.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. You look good.
Thank you. You look well. You look so good. You never change.
Grace.
I need this grace too.
Yes. So.
But 16 years after Mentor, how has the journey been? What do you think has been the aha moment for you?
So a very good morning to all your viewers. After 16 years, I think God has been good. It's not really been a very smooth journey, but then that is life. You can have it all 100%, yes, but in all, it's been good. God has been so good. So we can only thank Him. Yes, it's been good. It's been, ups and downs, but in all, it's been good.
Have you always wanted to do gospel music?
No.
Really?
Yes, I wanted to be a journalist.
It's not too late, is it?
Yes, so it's not too late. I really wanted to be a newscaster. Yes, so
IB, that's my producer.
Okay. Please, you have to employ me. You have to employ me and start training me. Because I went to journalism school.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and along the line I quit. And that was when I deferred my course. That was when I went to the Mentor.
Okay.
Yeah, Mentor 4 season. Yes.
Okay.
So after that I came out with a song and I couldn't go back to school again.
Oh.
No.
Okay, it's not too late. Anyway.
Yes, honestly.
But let's talk about the career so far. How many albums do you have? How many songs do you have now?
Okay, so far I have 2 albums to my credits and a single.
Okay.
And I just released another single today.
One.
Yeah, the latest one.
But how has it fared? If you compare your first album to your second one, how has both fared?
The first was really massive. That's the song, the one you just played, the Obat, and yes, it was really, that also really pulled me out there, because right after, I left Mentor House in February, and I released in October, so right after Mentor, I released that album, and it was really a very huge success. So it really cemented me in the gospel fraternity.
But after that, you seem to have hibernated.
Yes.
What were you doing within that period?
Within that period, I got married. I had children. I went to the Bible school.
Okay.
Yes, I was holding I was having a show. Yes, The Wives on another TV station. So I was doing a lot, but I kind of held on with the music aspect of it, and I did another things or different things. Yes. So I came back in 2017 or I think 2016. I came back to release another album. Yes, and I went back again to do another stuff. And last year I came back with another single.
How has it been balancing? They say women we're superhumans. How has it been balancing being a wife, especially being a wife of a pastor, being a mother, mothering a church, and then being a gospel act where you have to interact with a lot of people as well?
It can be grace and hard work and determination. Whatever you put your mind on. And so far as you know that this is what I have to do or I ought to do, definitely you have a way that you meander your way through. Yes, so it has not been easy, combining all of them together, but we do what we can and we leave the rest to God. If we are not able to finish today, we continue the next day. Yes. So
what inspires the songs that you churn out for? Those were very, very profound statements in there. And then the one that we played as well. What are the things that inspired the lyrics of the song? You write them yourself?
When I came here, you told me, so you said you're very troublesome. So. At the end of the year, yes.
So at the end of
when
this year,
nothing happens to you,
I'll play Asida.
So looking back throughout the year, it's not easy. Even to go through one day to move out from your house, go to work or whatever you're going to, and come back home safely is grace. It is not your power. It is you cannot, no matter how careful you are, you cannot be too careful, except there is a hand that is holding you down. So you can only be thankful and grateful to God. Looking back, looking at the number of people that, passing each and every day, news here and there. What have you done? So it's only grace. So when you go back, you come home, to and fro every week, every day, every month, throughout the year, it should tell you that there is an upper hand that is holding you down. And you can only be thankful to that Creator who always sees you through. Yes. So throughout the week or throughout the month, throughout the year, you should be thankful. And I'm one person that I say that I don't want to be ungrateful. No matter the situation, I always want to be thankful to God, because the life that I enjoy each and every day, waking up is a luxury. So when I wake up each and every day, regardless of what I go through, regardless of what I see, I have to be thankful. It's a must to everybody. It's a must.
You're saying but you stirred a few interesting conversations regarding secular arts, gospel arts, and so on. But how have you handled these things? I mean, being a pastor's wife, especially.
It's part of the occupational hazard. It's part of them. We all can be in the same page. We all cannot be in the same page. We all can have the same ideologies or ideas and everything. So the fact that somebody believes in this doesn't mean I should also believe in that. So,
but is Christianity not embracing?
Yes, we are embracing them. But the fact that you're embracing somebody doesn't mean that if the person is not yet up to that standard or up to that level, you should. It's not necessarily saying that the person is not a Christian or the person that doesn't believe in God or whatever, but as to, is the person in tune with what you are doing? Are you in the same spirit? Because partnership is very, very serious. It's a serious business. To even partner with somebody in business-wise, it's very serious. Talk less of partnering with somebody spreading the word of God when the person doesn't even know what he or she is talking about. So that was where I was coming from. Because if you want to propagate the word of God, if you want to share the word of God, you should share it with somebody who has the same faith, believes in everything that you believe in. That is where you can do whatever you want to do with. Yeah.
So are you saying you will not do a collaboration with any secular arts? Let me give you names: Sarkodie, Black Sheriff, Stoneboy, Shatawale, and even Akwabwa. Akwabwa, we know that is a Christian. He goes to church. He's the leading member of his church. Are you ever going to do a song with any secular arts, like the names I've mentioned?
You see, that's why I have a problem when you single out somebody that this person is a Christian. How will you know? How will you know? The fact that the person goes to church doesn't make the person a Christian. Okay. And the fact that maybe you've not seen Black Sheriff in church doesn't mean he's also not a Christian. We all know, or we all have what we believe in. So who is doing what I'm doing? Joe Metal is there. Diana Hamilton is there. PSC Esther is there. So if I want to collaborate, what stops me from collaborating with the people that I share the same faith with? And I will leave all these people and say that I'm going to collaborate with Akwabwa. What message do I want to send across? What do I want to achieve at the end of the day? Is it for fame? Is it because they have the numbers? That is the whole thing. If I want to collaborate with the secular artists, what do I want to achieve at the end of the day? Because if Diana Hamilton is there, Joe Metal is there, and we share the same faith, we believe in the same ideologies, we believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, he died and resurrected, and maybe that person doesn't even share the same faith with me. Have I been able to make the person believe in what I believe in before collaborating with him or her?
Okay.
You understand? So if I want to do collaboration, I think there are so many beautiful gospel artists, very powerful ones that I can, collaborate with. Together, we have the same aim, that is winning souls for Christ, than to step out of my comfort zone and say I'm going to collaborate with So I don't have problem with people that does that, but with me or to me, I don't believe in that.
Okay. Every gospel artist has a testimony around a song they release. You have a new one. What's the testimony around this?
The new one is the Aseda Reloaded.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, you have a lot to be thankful for.
A lot. This time around is packed because when you look back, looking at where you're coming from, when you sit back, assess your life, take a good screening from the head, the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. You know, what has God done for you? There are so many things to be thankful for. So sometimes I don't wait for God to do something huge for me before I thank God. No. Like I said earlier on, every day when you wake up, when you have life, when you can breathe, there is a reason to be thankful. And that alone is a very big reason for you to be thankful to God.
Let's thank God with a song. Today is 26th November 2025. Semeho ama semame na yitu maame. Nsemo ayede to me so senyame ama me ho ama semwa. Na ya sida. That's a very beautiful song. Where can they find the song? Where is it? Is it on all streaming platforms?
Yes, please. It's available on all the streaming platforms and also on my YouTube page. This beautiful video is available. Yes, when you go to my YouTube page, the name is Mavis Asante, is there, and all the streaming platforms is streaming live this morning, right now. It is there. Yes.
So this is the soft launch, right?
Yes, please. Exactly.
We're privileged.
Thank
so that's
you.
Mavis Asante. But how do people contact you if they want collaboration? If they want to invite you for events, how do people contact you?
Please, when you search my name, Mavis Asante, on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Mavis Asante Official, Mavis Asante Supreme Lady, YouTube, Instagram, Mavis Asante Official, TikTok, Mavis Asante, YouTube, Mavis Asante, everywhere, Mavis Asante. When you enter my DM, definitely we will talk to you. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. So that is what makes us authentic. I'm sure that a lot of you will resonate with the song. At least I do. That should do for the show. Let's do some celebrations. Celebrations. Happy first birthday to our lovely son in Shraba Kwabnansa. Just as the baby Jesus grew in wisdom and in stature and found favor in the sight of God and men, so shall you be. May this year and the years ahead be increasingly amazing as you are. Stay blessed from Mr. and Mrs. Asamoah Bafwo. Okay. Happy birthday to Kwejo Opokwansa of Nguvu Mining. May the grace, favor, and blessings of God continue to abound in your life with love and warm wishes from baby and the children. I'm sure this is going to be my ringtone for the rest of the year. As Sedanyum Kwan. 2025 has really dealt with me, but God has been amazing. God has been amazing. Mavis, has been such a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
To see you. That's it for the show. My name is Lily Mohammed. You can equally find me on all social media platforms as well. Have a great day on behalf of the entire team led by Ibrahim Alassan and Ruben Eden Banini and the rest of the crew. I say this all the time. I sit here, I do all the talking, but the real work goes on behind the screens. And so camera, sound, light and floor, and all the people who make this show possible. Thank you guys. And thank you to you for staying tuned in from 6 a.m. all through till now. Once again, my name is Lily Mohammed. Have a great day.